The second thing you can do, and this one I got to go over like for real, because a lot of guys, I tell a lot of guys to do this, but they don't sort of understand it and they don't do it right when it comes to closing the deal, is that you can give a girl your number and tell her to call you. Okay? You can give a girl your number and tell her to call you. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on this, because, I had a lot of guys, I tell them, to do this, but, they don't technically do it right. And I've explained this, before, but I'm going to explain it a little bit more in detail right now so that you can get it, right? Because a lot of guys say, well, how am I going to, give the girl my number, because she's not even going to call me. Girls are not going to call you because they're used to the guys calling them, and girls just don't do that. And why would she call me when she got all these other guys, sweating her and everything? So the thing is this, is that if a girl is feeling you, she will call you. If the girl is really into you and you tell her to call you, she will call you, right? 90% of them will call you. Some of them, of course, they're not going to call even if they like you, because they're super conditioned to feel like the man's supposed to call, or they might be nervous and scared to call you, right? But the thing is that I'm going to tell you a way to do this so that it will dramatically increase the chances of a girl calling you. And the benefits of having a girl call you first is that when she does, it shows that she's 100% into you, because she's actually making the move to call you. She's actually putting herself out there to hit you up. And it shows, she knows how to follow instruction, because you're telling her, hey, call me, and she actually does it. Right? So I'm going to tell you how to do this correctly so that it'll be easy for you. And all you have to do is these 3 steps in order to make this happen, right? To get a girl to actually call you. First step is you tell her when to call you. And the sooner the better is best. So meaning, like, let's say you're talking to a girl on Friday. It's better to tell her to call you on Saturday, at least by Saturday. If you're talking to a girl on Monday, it's better to tell her to call you by Tuesday, at least by the next day. Sometimes you can say, hey, call me, that night. So if you're talking to her on a Friday morning, you can tell her call you Friday night, but the sooner the better, right? And I'm going to explain more into that later. Now, the second step is you have to bring up the flakiness, right? Now, basically what that means is when you are talking to the girl, right, you need to already say to her that you are going to, you're pointing out that she's going to be flaky, already, so that you can bring that to the forefront. I'm going to get to that in a second. I'm just going through the list now. And now the third thing is you have to reiterate when she's supposed to call you. You have to get her to reiterate when she's supposed to call you. So this is the last thing you do to make sure she remembers and understands that she's supposed to call you. And I'm going to go through all of these again in detail so you can get it. I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the 3 steps. Now, let's go back to the first step. First step, tell her when to call you. The sooner, the better. So what you do is you're talking to the girl and you say, so instead of saying, hey, give me your number, because now you're trying to get her to call you, you say to her, hey, you seem cool. We should get together. Here's my number. When are you free to talk tomorrow? Right? So it's always good to ask them when they're free to talk or to hit you up, because, now you can, so they can't say, oh, well, I was busy. I was at work or whatever. So you say, hey, when are you free tomorrow to talk? Right? And then she says, oh, maybe like 6 o'clock or whatever. Okay, listen, here's my number. I want you to call me tomorrow at 6, right? So you're telling her when to call you. You're telling her the day and the time. Here's my number. call me tomorrow at 6, right? Or if you want to tell her that, that day, let's say it's Saturday, Saturday during the afternoon or whatever, and you wanted to call you Saturday night, that same night, hey, when are you free to talk tonight? Oh, I should be free at like 8 o'clock, get off of work at 7:30, whatever. Okay, cool. Listen, here's my number. I want you to call me tonight at 8. Okay? So the first thing is you tell her to call you. The sooner the better is when you tell her, and you give her the day and the time. The day and the time, right? Now, second thing is bring up the flakiness. So what I mean by this is that a lot of times women will be flaky and they're gonna not do what they say they're gonna do. So when you bring up the flakiness, you're kind of calling her out on her flakiness, so that if she decides or is thinking about being flaky, right, it'll make her think twice about it because you're calling it out. So this is how it goes, right? So you're talking to the girl, you say, hey, listen, here, take my number down, give me a call tomorrow at 6, right? Then right before you giving her the number, you don't give her the number yet, but you're about to give her the number. You're telling her when you need her to call you. Now, right after you tell her that, the first thing you say, hey, listen, are you one of those flaky chicks? Because I don't like girls who are flaky, girls who say they're going to do something and they don't. So, if you're flaky, let me know now. I won't give you my number. I'll see you later. I'll be out. You got to let her know, like, hey, listen, if you're going to be flaky, I'm not going to give you my number. So I could just leave right now. So just let me know. Are you the flaky type? I like mature women who know how to, follow through. But if you're flaky, just let me know now. Right. And it's good to throw in that mature thing because women don't want to seem immature. So a lot of times what's going to happen is the woman's going to be like, no, I'm not flaky. I don't, when I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something, because women love to, they don't want to look like they're like every other girl, or they don't want to look like they're lame. Do you understand what I'm saying? So most girls are not going to say, yes, I'm flaky. You understand? Most girls are not going to say that. They're going to say, no, yeah, I'm, whatever, I'm good or whatever. So you're calling out the flakiness. So what happens is that even if she was thinking about flaking, or the day when she's supposed to call you, she was like, oh, should I, I guess I should call him because I already told him I was, so it gives her that extra, pressure to actually follow through. So it's good to call them out on the flakiness, right? Now, the third thing is you have her reiterate when she's supposed to call you. So now, you tell her when to call you, what time, you call her out on the flakiness. Now you're giving her the number at this point. You're saying, okay, put my number in your phone, she's putting a number in the phone or whatever. And then now all you got to do, and you do this playfully, you do this whole thing playfully from, top to bottom, you say, you say, hey, I'm going to test you. I'm going to test you to see if you were paying attention. So when are you supposed to call me and what time? And so it should be like, tomorrow at 6. Okay, awesome. You passed the test. You're great. Whatever. So the reason why you get her to reiterate it is because you want her to say it out of her own mouth. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's one thing for you to say it, but it's another thing for her to actually say it out of her own mouth, because it's sort of like on a subconscious level, it's telling her that she's telling herself that she's supposed to do something. You understand? And it's basically letting her know twice about what she's supposed to do the next day. See, this is the reason why you tell her to call you sooner than later. It's because you don't want it to be Monday and you tell her, hey, give me a call Saturday, because Saturday is so many days away that she probably will forget. But if you say, hey, call me tonight or call me tomorrow, it's such a small window that she will most likely call you. You understand? So this is why I wanted to just go over that, because I know a lot of guys who they're like, oh, but I tell a girl, I give her my number, she doesn't call. And the reason why she doesn't call is because you're still not giving her the instruction on how to do it. Because you got to understand, a lot of women are not used to calling guys. And again, a lot of women might not be comfortable doing it because they're nervous, right? But if you're talking to her and you're being playful, because you should be playful through the whole thing. You don't want it to be like you're, being all super serious, like, hey, here's my number. Bitch, you better be calling me tomorrow at this time or else, you know what I mean? Like, nah, you just like, hey, the interaction will go, something like this. Like, hey, listen, you seem cool. Look, when are you free to talk? Oh, I'm free, tomorrow to talk. Okay, listen, look, I'm going to give you my number. I want you to call me tomorrow at 6. And then I'm about to give her the number and be like, wait a second, but hold on for a second. Are you one of those flaky girls who, who's immature, who doesn't follow through and do what they say they're going to do? Because if you're one of those, let me know, because I'm going to bounce. You understand? And it's like, no, I'm not flaky. I do what I say. I'm not one of those girls. All right, cool. Listen. So take out your phone. Put my number in it. It's such as is 917 blah 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 blah. And then right after she does that, be like, now listen, I'm going to test you to make sure you're paying attention. When are you supposed to call me again? Oh, tomorrow. At what time? 6. Okay, awesome. All right, cool. Listen, I'm going to see you later. That's it. That's all you got to do. And the reason why you go through those steps is because it makes the situation more concrete than you just giving a girl your number and walking away. Because if you say, hey, give me, here's my number, call me, and that's all you say, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, she's supposed to call you and tell her when. She can call you whenever. When you make it more concrete, when you're giving her those instructions, then it's more likely that she will call you. Because if she's feeling you, she will call you. And even the girls who were sort of like, nervous about calling a guy, they will more likely call you when you put these steps in, because it's giving her like a framework to work with, because it's almost like she's still listening to you, and you're the one who's putting the instruction out there, so you're the one still taking charge of the situation. The reason why women like when men call is because it's the man taking charge in the situation, right? But if you are instructing her to call and you're giving her the proper space to choose you, which is her calling you, it makes it easier for her to do that, because you're still giving her the instruction to call you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that's the little overview on closing the deal and actually how to, get the girls to call you, right? Now, next we're going to move into what you need to do when you actually contact the girl. And the only thing you need to do when you contact the girl. The only thing. Okay? And if you do not do this thing right, this is what's going to mess up the whole interaction when you get these girls' numbers and try to hook up and set dates. This right here is so important, so extremely important, and it's funny that a lot of guys don't know how to do this right. And if you do this right, you will make things happen better, right? So what is the only thing that you need to do when you contact the girl? The only thing, the one and only thing you need to do when you contact a girl, when you get a number and you text her, is, hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.